Next point, oxyacids of 15th group elements. So, what are generally hydrides? When any element combines with hydrogen gives hydride, oxygen gives oxide, both oxygen and hydrogen gives oxyacid. Halide means halogen. Now here, among all the oxyacids, important oxyacids are for nitrogen and phosphorus. Here number 1, oxyacids of nitrogen. Oxyacids or oxoacids, both are same. Now here, first one H2N2O2, this is hyponitrous acid. HNO2, nitrous acid. HNO3, nitric acid. HNO4, pernitric acid. Among all these, the important oxyacid in our syllabus is HNO3, that is nitric acid. This is the structure of nitric acid. The number of ionizable H plus ions from any given acid is called basicity. Here all oxyacids are monobasic, that means basicity is 1. Now come to preparation of nitric acid, that is laboratory preparation. When sodium nitrite reacts with sulfuric acid, then we will get nitric acid. Now nitric acid is colorless liquid. It won't react with noble metals like gold and platinum. When nitric acid is added to water, we will get hydronium ion and nitrate ion. It indicates nitric acid is as a strong acid. Now here, when it reacts with some metals like copper and zinc, what are the products you are getting? When copper reacts with dilute nitric acid, it gives copper nitrate and NO. Whereas, when copper reacts with concentrated nitric acid, then we will get copper nitrate and NO2. Among these two reactions, you identify copper nitrate, water are common for both. Here with dilute HNO3 we will get NO, with concentrated HNO3 you are getting NO2. Now move to next metal, that is zinc. When zinc reacts with dilute nitric acid, it gives zinc nitrate, water and N2O. When zinc reacts with concentrated nitric acid, then we will get zinc nitrate, water and NO2. See there with copper dilute HNO3, we are getting NO. Here zinc with dilute HNO3 are getting N2O. In both the cases, with concentrated HNO3 you are getting NO2. Now move to other point, that is metals like chromium and aluminum. These two are insoluble in nitric acid, because when these two metals are dipped in nitric acid, then immediately a thin layer of oxides of these metals will be formed. That oxide layer protects the metal from the reaction with nitric acid. Now move to reaction with non-metals. Iodine reacts with nitric acid, gives iodic acid, nitrogen dioxide. Carbon with nitric acid gives carbon dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. Sulfur with nitric acid gives sulfuric acid, nitrogen dioxide. Phosphorus with nitric acid gives orthophosphoric acid and nitrogen dioxide. So, if you recognize all the reactions between metals and non-metals, one thing is very clear, only at two cases you are getting NO and N2O. In all other cases you are getting NO2. Brown ring test. This test is used to identify nitrate ion in the given solution. First you have to take nitrate solution, to that add freshly prepared ferrous sulfate and then add sulfuric acid drop by drop. Then we will get NO. That NO reacts with complex compound formed by iron in the given solution and it gives a complex compound which is in brown color. Now, if you identify this particular test, in the test tube we can identify a small brown ring, that is this brown color. This is the compound responsible for that color. This is brown ring test. Oxyacids of phosphorus. There are two types of oxyacids of phosphorus. One is Us series of acids. Second one is X series of acids. Difference between these two is, here oxidation state of phosphorus is less, here it is more. Now, total this many oxyacids we have. One is H3PO2, name is hypophosphorus acid. Here oxidation state of phosphorus is +1. Next, orthophosphorus acid H3PO3, oxidation state of phosphorus is +3. Third one, pyrophosphorus acid, formula is H4P2O5, oxidation state is +3. Now, here oxidation state of phosphorus is minimum. Now, come to second group, H4P2O6, oxidation state is +4 here, name is hypophosphoric acid. H3PO4, oxidation state of nitrogen is +5, name is orthophosphoric acid. H4P2O7, oxidation state of phosphorus is +5, name is pyrophosphoric acid. HPO3 taken n times, here oxidation state is +5, name is metaphosphoric acid. Except this last one, we can write structures for remaining compounds very easily. Now, regarding structures of oxyacids of phosphorus, every year you are getting 1-2 marks question. Now, how to draw the structures of these compounds? I will give you one simple technique. Here each phosphorus contains at least one double bond O, and second one, each phosphorus atom should be surrounded by maximum number of bonds, that is 5. Now, I will show the first structure here. Central atom is phosphorus, definitely one double bond O. and remaining oxygens are 1, hydrogens are 3. That's why we will write 1 OH group, remaining 2 are hydrogens. Now here, in all the oxyacids, phosphorus undergoes sp3 hybridization and shape is tetrahedral. Now see this compound, how many OH groups available? 1. So number of ionizable H plus ions are also 1. So the OH group present in this structure is responsible for basicity of this acid. And these two hydrogens are directly bonded with phosphorus, that's why those are stable and those are responsible for reducing property of that acid. As more number of directly bonded hydrogens increases, reducing nature also increases. As number of OH groups increases, basicity also increases. Here basicity is 1 or it is also called monobasic acid. Now come to second one. Once again central atom phosphorus, 1 double bond O compulsory. Remaining number of oxygens are 2, hydrogens are 3. That's why we can write 2 OH groups here, 1 hydrogen. Tell me what is basicity of this? 2. Now here next one. If any compound contains 2 phosphorus atoms, then initially you have to write 1 p bond p. Each phosphorus should contain at least 1 double bond O. Now remaining number of oxygens are 3 and hydrogens are 4. That's why what I am doing, just write 2 OH groups here, 2 hydrogens here and 1 oxygen left. That we can place here between 2 phosphorus atoms. Here also basicity is 2. See this, H4 P2 O5. Now come to next one, H4 P2 O6. Once again 2 phosphorus atoms here, P bond P, double bond O, double bond O. Now how many oxygens left here? 4. Hydrogens also 4. That's why total 4 OH groups we can get. So because of this, this is tetrabasic or basicity 4. Now come to H3PO4. Here 1 phosphorus atom, 1 double bond O, remaining oxygens 3, hydrogens also 3. That's why we can write 3 OH groups here. So here basicity is 3. The last one, 2 phosphorus atoms, write P bond P, double bond O, number of oxygens left 5, hydrogens 4. That's why I will write 4 OH groups and 1 oxygen atom left. Here we can write that oxygen atom. This is also tetrabasic or basicity is 4. This is an important compound where we have POP bond. Here also we have POP bond. Now come to last one, that is metaphosphoric acid, HPO3 taken n times. Suppose if n is 1 for example, then we can write P double bond O, 1 OH group, one oxygen remaining, that's why we will write another double bond O. Generally this is not possible. If N is 1, we can write like this. But naturally this HPO3 taken n times is as cyclic form or straight chain polymeric type. Suppose if you see cyclic structure here, then N is 3. Now see this is HPO3. Difference between these two is here one bond is broken and it is formed with another phosphorus atom. Now see this, here we have 1 unit of HPO3, this is second unit of HPO3, and last one third one. How many total units here? 3, that is why N is 3 here. Come to straight chain polymeric structure. Here you can see HPO3, this is with another unit. Now next one HPO3, that means metaphosphoric acid exists as both cyclic form as well as linear chain form.